Hi, everybody. Welcome to the webinar, The Solution to Crush Sugar Cravings in 5 Simple Steps. This is Roseanne Zaft, and I'm so very grateful that you're here. Kudos to you for taking time out of your busy life to hang out with me and to dig a little deeper into the not-so-sweet truth about sugar. And the truth is that sugar is constantly kicking our butts and leaving us feeling like crap. Now, I'll share with you how my simple solutions and proven methods can save the day and maybe your waistline as we kick those cravings to the curb for good. I'm going to talk about how to overcome sugar cravings naturally. In this webinar, I'll be sharing with all of you the 5 simple steps you need to take to be successful. Let's face it, you've joined me on this webinar for one or two reasons. 1, you're addicted to sugar and can't stop eating it. Or 2, someone you know and love is struggling with a sugar addiction and you want to help them out. In either case, stick around because I'll explain how to use these 5 simple steps to crush cravings and smash addiction for good. You just may find that the next hour may save your life or the life of someone you love. I'll be packing a lot of info in the next hour, so be sure to jot down notes or any questions that may come up. And I also have a sweet surprise for you that you won't want to miss, so stick around till the end of the seminar. It's time to start living in the solution, so let's begin. What, you a sugar addict? I know that sugar is something that so many people struggle with. When I ask my clients what makes them go off their diet or crash and burn only to feel like a fat failure, they all agree that the biggest thing is that they start craving sugar. I get it. This is a huge challenge for anyone trying to lose weight or just those of us that are trying to live a healthier lifestyle. Is this you? You start out your day with the best intention, and then within a week or two, those cravings for bread, cookies, and pasta start feeling overwhelming. Something sets you off, and you find yourself mindlessly finishing off a bowl of M&Ms before your significant other comes home. Or you just have to have one more Monster or other energy drink before you go back to your next task. Let me ask you this. Have you found yourself at the end of your day standing in front of the kitchen cupboard negotiating with Oreo cookies and taking a vow that you'll work out for 15 minutes longer on the treadmill the next day? Stop beating yourself up. You're not alone. You see, I'm a health coach, a fitness trainer, and a yoga therapist. I'm also a woman in long-term recovery, which means for me that I've been alcohol and drug-free since June 2nd, 2002. I am so grateful about that. But I am definitely a recovering sugar addict as well. I know that every day the number one enemy, sugar, is in the parking lot doing push-ups, just waiting to take me down. And I need to stay vigilant on how this addiction can kill me, just as much as alcohol and drugs would have. Let's face it, no one wants to become an alcoholic or drug addict. So who wants to become a sugar addict? None of us want to be fat. No one wants their lives destroyed by disabilities and illness. I mean, after all, we have policies and laws that protect people from alcohol, tobacco, and illegal drugs. Well, why not sugar? The research now shows that sugar is 8 times as addictive as cocaine. Crazy, right? I am powerless over sugar. That's for sure. The reason I openly talk about my alcoholism and drug addiction and now my sugar addiction is because I want to assure you it is never too late to make changes. I'm 58 years old, which is starting to sound kind of old, but truth be told, I feel and look even better than I did when I was 37. Seriously, I have more energy to live a happier, healthier, and productive life. And every day I live with this attitude of gratitude that I'm on this side of the grass. Plus, I get to eat the foods I love and don't feel deprived. Sure, my recovery from over 30 years of drug and alcohol abuse didn't happen overnight. Once I was clean and sober, I struggled with severe digestive problems and I felt sick and tired much of the time. So I visited a naturopathic doctor in search of answers, and did I ever find them? Unbeknownst to me, I had severe food sensitivities, the roots, which were the root cause of countless symptoms I had. I had acute adrenal fatigue, which caused constant exhaustion. And I also had candida, which was a runaway yeast infection throughout my digestive tract. My diagnosis was overwhelming to me at first, but I was really committed to getting and staying well. More than anything else, my naturopath taught me a deadly food secret. She pointed out that a specific food I was eating several times a day was disrupting all my body systems. It was sugar. And now my mission is to help others who are struggling with sugar like I did. I live my passion of health and fitness by helping people to achieve their dreams of feeling fit and fabulous at any age. And hopefully, I'm going to be able to help you too. Yep, I'm still powerless over sugar, and perhaps you are too. But I'm going to share solutions to fight the enemy. They are conscious choices I make that you can also make every day. So hang tight, and I'll share these simple solutions with you. But first, let's see why you can't live without the sweet stuff, shall we? Here's what I want to know. As a man or woman at the age of 50, 55, 60, or 65 plus, do you find yourself still playing the role of the superhero day in and day out? Have you spent the last decades of your life juggling professional responsibilities with housework, chores, duties as a spouse and a parent, or being a responsible caretaker for an elderly parent? Have you put away the idea of the person you were born to be, that smart, sexy, and savvy person you once were, because you feel fat and fried? Have you lost that thought and feeling of being totally sensational inside and out? And do you find yourself at the end of the day so tired and feeling irritable, even feeling overwhelmed? And you just tell yourself that this is just a byproduct of getting older. I hear that all the time. Yep, that's you. Over the hill, holding on to your menopausal or fat, fighting depression, and feeling just plain old hopeless. You're at the end of the line, and you've just accepted it's how it's going to be. So what's the point of thinking you can do anything about it, right? You're so exhausted and stressed out that time and time again you reach for something that makes you feel good, even if it's for 10 or 15 minutes. A chocolate chip cookie, a small bowl of sugar-free ice cream, or maybe a big gulp soda does the trick. Well, stop right now before you reach for another quick fix. Take a breath, a deep breath, seriously, right now. Remember, I told you there is a solution. See, I hear my clients tell me that their lives are so busy these days that a lot of them actually hate grocery shopping and cooking by this time in their life. And if they do grocery shop, they dash down the aisle and see all those products now labeled as sugar-free, so they confidently stock up on foods that they believe will help them to lose weight. I mean, after all, who's got time to read those labels? Does that sound like you? And then there are some people I know who sip on these new and improved sugar-free sodas. And the big problem is they're drinking entirely too many of them. I've also heard a lot of folks that don't do sodas, but they're still dodging in and out of the nearest coffee shop and ordering their third or fourth skinny latte that day, thinking they're making a healthier choice. Like you, many of my clients are always on the go and think as long as they eat a power bar, they've had a meal and they don't have to eat lunch. But they find themselves later that day grabbing a few cookies, and at 3 o'clock, they're nibbling on a couple pieces of candy to make until they go out to dinner. Or once they get home and they're preparing dinner, they're unconsciously shoveling down a bag of pretzels or chips just to take off the edge. The problem is they find themselves a couple hours after dinner sitting in front of the TV and wondering why they're still hungry after the box of crackers sitting in their lap is gone. Sadly, many people like this wake up the next morning and repeat the same mistake all over again, despite their best efforts. Does any of this sound like you? Boy, that was me. I sold my successful and highly stressful graphic design studio in '96. And a year later, at 40, made a career change into fitness, thinking it would help keep me healthier longer. Was I ever in a surprise? As I previously mentioned, I cut out the booze and the drugs, but found that I couldn't stop eating the sweet stuff. And I wondered why I felt like crap all the time. I was a health professional, for God's sakes. It got so bad, I even had to take naps between classes and clients most days. So, what I realized with the help of my doctor is that although I cut out my alcohol and drug addiction, I traded it in for one that was legal, yet just as dangerous, and that was sugar. And I didn't even know it. Sugar was hidden in so many of the foods I was eating, like those whole wheat bagels and so called high fiber power muffins that I thought were good for me. Dang, I was way off. So, friends, sugar addiction is the buzzword these days, and I'm here to tell you it's not going away anytime soon. Before we go over the 5 simple steps, let's take a further look behind the scenes of just how harmful sugar is and how it really affects us. Are you struggling with weight problems? Constantly dieting, but every diet you ditch after a week because it's too complicated or too boring, or you're still hungry and you don't even lose weight. Or worse yet, you do lose the weight, but you can't keep it off. Instead, you put it back on and maybe even a few extra pounds.